Hello everyone, welcome to my Teen Mom News channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and give this video a like up. Teen Mom star Tyler Baltierra and Catelynn Lowell are one of the most talked about couples on the show Teen Mom. They are high school sweethearts turned couple who have gracefully survived on the show. The couple have gone through various highs and lows in their life, ranging from putting their firstborn up for adoption to becoming parents to 3 more daughters. Recently, tears crawled down Tyler's eyes when he shared about his childhood sexual abuse trauma. He even blamed it for shaping his decision to put their first daughter, Carly, for adoption. Read further to know more. Teen Mom star Tyler Baltierra has once again opened one of the most painful and deeply personal chapters of his life, revealing that his experiences with childhood xual played a much larger role in his past decisions than fans ever knew, including the heartbreaking choice to place his first daughter, Carly, for adoption. In a powerful and emotional confession, Tyler shared that the trauma he endured as a child shaped him in ways he didn't fully understand until years later, saying the pain he carried inside became one of the driving forces behind the life-changing decision he and Catelynn made when they were only teenagers. For years, Teen Mom viewers have seen glimpses of Tyler's struggles. They've heard him speak about his childhood, the dysfunction in his home, the instability he grew up with, and the emotional trauma that continued to follow him into adulthood. But now, for the first time in his life, Tyler is openly acknowledging that he survived xual in his youth, a revelation that has left fans heartbroken, supportive, and stunned by the strength it takes to publicly confront something so devastating. Tyler explains that he spent years hiding the truth, burying memories he was too afraid to confront, and carrying the shame that so often traps survivors in silence. He recalls being young, confused, and terrified, not understanding what was happening, and having no emotional tools to process the pain. The experience created a deep wound he kept locked away, trying desperately to pretend it never happened. But trauma doesn't disappear, it lingers, shapes behavior, influences choices, and affects relationships in ways many survivors only understand later in life. As Tyler got older, he began to realize how much the unprocessed trauma had affected him. It showed up in his anxiety, his overthinking, his emotional breakdowns, and the constant pressure he put on himself to be a perfect partner and father. But perhaps the most unexpected impact was the way it influenced his decision at age 17 to place his newborn daughter Carly for adoption. Tyler admits that at the time, he and Catelynn publicly said they were choosing adoption because they were too young, too unprepared, and too unstable to provide the life they wanted for their daughter. But underneath those reasons was something deeper, a quiet fear that he wasn't emotionally whole enough, stable enough, or healed enough to be the father Carly needed. Tyler describes how he worried that the trauma he carried inside would somehow pass on to her the same way generational pain had passed down to him. He feared repeating the cycles he grew up with, afraid of becoming a broken, overwhelmed version of his father, or failing Carly the way adults failed him. He says that placing her for adoption wasn't just an act of love, it was also an act of protection. He believed that giving her to a stable, emotionally secure family would shield her from the chaos, instability, and emotional turmoil he feared he would bring into her life. For the first time, Tyler admits that part of his reasoning was rooted in feeling damaged, ashamed, and terrified that he was not enough. The grief of letting Carly go became intertwined with the trauma he had carried for so long, forming a wound that followed him through adulthood. For years, he felt guilt, confusion, and emotional turmoil, unsure if he made the right decision or if the pain inside him had clouded his judgment. As he grew older and pursued therapy, Tyler began to uncover how much of his life had been influenced by trauma he never faced. Therapy forced him to revisit memories he had pushed deep into the shadows, guiding him through the painful process of acknowledging the frightened child he once was. Slowly, he began to understand that the shame he felt didn't belong to him. He began learning how to reclaim his voice, dismantle the fear, and finally face the truth he had buried for decades. Tyler's healing journey didn't just change him, it also changed the way he looked at adoption, parenthood, and himself. He explains that healing helped him let go of the fear that he was broken beyond repair. It reminded him that he deserved love, that he was capable of being a stable and devoted father, and that his past did not define his future. He often reflects on how different he feels raising his daughters Nova, Vita, and Ria while being emotionally aware and present in a way he couldn't have imagined as a traumatized teenager. Tyler says his daughters are growing up in a home filled with love, honesty, mental health awareness, and emotional security, the complete opposite of the environment he grew up in. He is determined to break every generational cycle that once held him hostage, ensuring his children never carry the burden he carried alone. Despite all the progress he has made, Tyler admits that his trauma still affects him. There are moments when certain memories resurface, moments when triggers catch him off guard, and moments when he still feels that lost little boy. But now he has the tools to cope, the support of a loving wife, and the strength to keep healing. He credits Catelynn for being his partner through every emotional storm, saying her compassion and understanding gave him the courage to finally face his past. Fans have flooded social media with messages of love, admiration, and support. Many are calling his confession one of the bravest revelations ever shared by any Teen Mom cast member. Survivors from around the world have thanked him for speaking out, saying his openness gives them strength to confront their own buried trauma. Tyler's revelation is not just a story of pain, it is a story of survival, resilience, and generational healing. By speaking his truth, he is not only freeing himself but also offering hope to survivors everywhere. His journey reminds fans that trauma doesn't define a person, the courage to confront it does. And now, more than ever before, Tyler is choosing healing over silence, strength over fear, and truth over shame. Teen Mom, Tyler faces his dark past, opens about trauma. Teen Mom starts with Tyler and Catelynn, who have traveled a bumpy road and have faced numerous challenges in their lives. The latest episode of Teen Mom, the next chapter, featured one such challenge wherein Tyler seeks help from a therapist. He underwent an emotional ketamine therapy in which a therapist helped him face his inner child and confront his traumas. At the beginning of the session, he confessed that his sexual identity got lost, which changed into hypersexuality. Deeper into the conversation, he talked about his and Catelynn's first child, Carly, and claimed that he had to place her for adoption because of his dark past. The reality celeb was then asked if he could forgive himself. While shedding tears, he responded that he was unsure if he could. On being asked about his message for his younger self, he said, "It's not your fault that these people failed you." Tyler continued, his mother tried her best to help him, but he was too young to understand. He was later injected with a drug by a doctor. This helped him visit his 8-year-old self, followed by facing and getting past his childhood trauma. During the end of his session, the Teen Mom celeb confronted the therapist, and the session provided him with the confirmation that he was supposed to be where he was. Tyler then said that his children are the only reason for him to be alive. Teen Mom star Tyler Baltierra is once again opening a deeply emotional chapter of his life, bravely confronting his darkest memories and revealing the trauma he has carried for decades. In a heartfelt and intensely vulnerable moment, Tyler opens up about the emotional wounds that shaped him long before fame, fatherhood, or the spotlight ever came into the picture. For years, Teen Mom fans have seen him as the supportive husband, the dedicated father, and the calm, steady force behind so many of the franchise's most unforgettable moments. But behind the composed exterior, Tyler has struggled with a kind of pain he kept hidden for far too long. Now, he is finally ready to speak his truth. In new conversations shared with fans, Tyler revisits the earliest years of his life, revealing how growing up in a household filled with instability, addiction, and emotional chaos shaped him into the man he is today. He describes a childhood overshadowed by fear and confusion, where he was forced to grow up too fast, protecting himself and his siblings from the ups and downs of his father's addiction and the emotional toll it took on the entire family. Although fans have heard glimpses of Tyler's difficult upbringing over the years, never before has he taken such a raw and unfiltered journey into his own past. He speaks about the guilt he carried as a young boy, feeling responsible for situations entirely outside his control, and the constant emotional exhaustion that came from living in a home where stability was a rare luxury. The trauma of those years followed him into adulthood, shaping his relationships, his inner struggles, and even the way he parented his own children. Tyler explains that for years he tried to suppress the memories, bury the fear, and stay silent, believing that ignoring the pain somehow made him stronger. But instead, the unresolved trauma manifested in anxiety, emotional breakdowns, and moments of overwhelming frustration that he often hid from the public eye. His fans saw his resilience, but they didn't see the private moments where the weight of his past became too heavy to carry alone. It wasn't until he started therapy and began facing the darkness head-on that he realized healing is not about forgetting, but about understanding. Tyler reveals how therapy forced him to revisit the memories he had locked away for most of his life, guiding him to acknowledge the child he once was, scared, confused, and desperate for safety. He speaks about learning to forgive himself for the things he could not control and accepting that trauma does not make him weak but human. One of the most emotional parts of his revelation is how much he feared passing his trauma onto his children. As a father to Nova, Vita, and Rhea, Tyler shares how determined he is to break generational cycles and create the stable, loving environment he never had. He is committed to showing his daughters a life filled with emotional support, open communication, and unconditional love. He admits that some days are harder than others, especially when the triggers from his past resurface unexpectedly, but he works every day to make sure his children see a different reality than the one he grew up with. Through his healing journey, Tyler also reflects on the vital role of his wife, Catelynn, who has stood beside him through every high and low. He describes her as his anchor, the one person who understands the depth of his emotional battles because she has survived her own. Their shared experiences with trauma and loss have created a bond that is unbreakable, and their marriage remains one of the strongest dynamics fans have witnessed in the Teen Mom franchise. Tyler credits Catelynn with giving him the strength to open up, confront the truth, and begin the long process of healing. As he shares these memories with fans, Tyler hopes to break the stigma surrounding mental health, trauma, and emotional vulnerability, especially among men who often feel pressure to remain silent. He wants others who grew up in similar circumstances to know they are not alone and that healing is not only possible but necessary. His message is clear: acknowledging the past is not a sign of weakness but a testament to strength. Fans have flooded social media with support, praising Tyler for his courage, honesty, and willingness to shed light on a struggle so many people face behind closed doors. Many are calling his story one of the most powerful revelations in Teen Mom history, applauding him for offering hope to those who have lived through similar childhoods. Tyler's emotional honesty has once again proven why he remains one of the most respected and beloved cast members on the show. His journey is far from over, but with each step forward, he inspires countless fans to confront their own pain, prioritize their mental health, and believe in the possibility of healing. As Tyler continues to process his trauma, build emotional strength, and grow into the man and father he always wanted to be, his story serves as a reminder that breaking the cycle is one of the bravest acts a person can commit to. And now, by speaking his truth publicly, he is not only healing himself but encouraging others to find their own voice. Teen Mom, Tyler is worried for daughter Nova. Tyler and Catelynn are parents to 4 daughters, including Carly. He was recently concerned for his 8-year-old girl Nova after she struggled with body image. During the early episodes of the current airing season, he and his wife, Catelynn, were seen seeking help for Nova. Later, she talked about her daughter on the show. She shared that Nova was concerned about donning a small tank top during cheer practice. The Teen Mom star was concerned and talked about the incident with her husband. He found it weird and asked if she was doing so for her privacy or if it was a result of something that happened to her. Nova brought up a similar concern later in the episode. Then, her mom shared with the producers that Tyler was so concerned about his daughter, for he was abused at her age. The couple consulted therapists, who provided some tips about talking to Nova. Tyler and Catelynn soon incorporated these tips to talk about body autonomy and similar stuff to their daughter. This seems to have helped her a lot. Stay tuned to TV season and spoilers for the latest Teen Mom news. Teen Mom star Tyler Baltierra is sending shockwaves through the fan community after opening up about a growing concern involving his eldest daughter, Nova. As one of the most open and emotionally honest parents in the franchise, Tyler has never shied away from discussing his struggles, fears, or parenting challenges. But this time, his worry for Nova has taken center stage, and fans are rallying around him as he reveals what has been weighing heavily on his heart. In a deeply emotional moment that captured the attention of teen mom viewers across social media, Tyler admitted that he has noticed changes in Nova that have left him feeling uneasy. He describes subtle but noticeable shifts in her behavior, mood, and emotional responses, signs that he says sparked a flood of worry he couldn't ignore. As a father who has battled trauma, anxiety, and generational cycles, Tyler is hypersensitive to anything that could indicate emotional struggles in his children, especially in Nova, who has always displayed a compassionate, sensitive heart. Tyler shares that Nova has recently been dealing with increased stress, pressure from school, and the challenges of growing up in the public eye. As the first daughter he raised from birth, Nova holds a special place in his heart, and he often sees parts of his younger self reflected in her: the sensitivity, the emotional depth, the overthinking tendencies. Tyler admits that sometimes he worries she may have inherited not only his creativity and curiosity but also his anxiety and emotional sensitivity. He notices moments when her smile fades a little too quickly, when she withdraws quietly instead of expressing what's on her mind, or when she suddenly becomes overwhelmed by situations that didn't bother her before. These small changes triggered a wave of fear inside him, especially knowing how early emotional struggles can begin and how easily children can internalize feelings they don't yet know how to talk about. Tyler has been candid about how his own childhood pain went unnoticed for years, leaving him to navigate trauma alone. The thought of Nova experiencing even a fraction of that is enough to put a knot in his stomach. He explains that his parenting style is deeply shaped by his desire to break the generational patterns he grew up with, providing his daughters with emotional support, open communication, and unconditional safety. So when he saw Nova struggling, even subtly, he knew he needed to act. He began spending more one-on-one time with her, asking open-ended questions, gently checking in, and making sure she knows she can talk to her parents about anything. Tyler also credits Catelynn for being an incredibly intuitive mother, someone who can read their daughter's emotions instantly. He says she noticed the changes in Nova too, and together they decided to be extra attentive and supportive, prioritizing her mental well-being above everything else. They've encouraged her to express her feelings, talk openly about school pressures, friendships, and even the difficulty of being recognized in public because of their family's fame. Tyler reveals that fame has been a double-edged sword for their children. While it has given their family opportunities, it has also exposed their kids to attention, expectations, and criticism that most children never experience. Nova is now becoming old enough to understand the world's eyes on her, and sometimes that reality weighs heavily on her young shoulders. Tyler speaks with a mix of pride and heartbreak as he describes how Nova tries to be strong, often putting on a brave face even when something is bothering her. That tendency reminds him too much of himself, and it fuels his determination to make sure she never feels alone or unheard. He wants her to grow up knowing her emotions matter, her voice matters, and her struggles don't define her. In the midst of this worry, Tyler reflects on his own healing journey and how it has equipped him to be a better father. Therapy taught him how to recognize emotional cues, communicate feelings, and validate the experiences of others, skills he now uses every day with his children. He is grateful to be in a place where he can understand what Nova might be feeling instead of dismissing it the way so many adults dismiss the emotions of young children. Fans across social media have shown overwhelming support, praising Tyler for his honesty and for being such a devoted, emotionally aware father. Many other parents have reached out, sharing their own stories of noticing early signs of anxiety in their children and the importance of intervention, understanding, and constant support. Tyler has always been one of the most loved Teen Mom cast members because of his raw vulnerability, and this moment only deepens fans' respect for him. As he continues to keep a close eye on Nova, supporting her through whatever she is feeling, he reminds parents everywhere that children go through emotional battles too, even when they seem small from the outside. He encourages others to listen deeply, empathize fully, and never assume a child's silence means they are okay. Tyler says he will do whatever it takes to ensure Nova grows up emotionally strong, safe, and fully supported. His worry does not come from panic but from a deep love that only a father who has lived through trauma can understand. He is determined to make sure Nova's path is lighter, safer, and more emotionally secure than his ever was. And as fans continue to watch this journey unfold, one thing is clear: Tyler is not just worried, he is present, aware, and ready to protect his daughter with everything he has. If you liked today's update, please like and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our Teen Mom News channel so that you don't miss any new updates. If you are interested in any specific news or information, please let us know in the comments. We will try to provide the right information according to your needs. Stay tuned for the next update and take care of yourself. Thank you.